Hello, everyone. It is March 8th, 2016. It's Tuesday. It's Harp Tuesday. And this is the final episode in my look at my Fantasy on Greensleeves, the lever harp version. So, trying a slightly different camera angle tonight to see how that works out. And sorry I didn't get this out earlier. It's been a busy few weeks, but here we are. And so it's just this last little bit. It's this little tremolo section that leads us into the Coda. So let's talk about that. I think I need to put this down and this up. There we are. So coming from variation 4, right, we have this into these tremolos. And if you've never encountered a tremolo before, I did an episode on tremolos. You should see a link here. And essentially it's just the same as trills, but easier because we're not repeating a note. We're not having to put our fingers back on the same string. So what we're doing is we're playing the first two notes, and on the page they're written in the lower line, staff. There's a treble, normally bass, but this is treble, clef. Left hand's playing two notes with 2-1. Right hand plays two notes. And you just keep repeating that one after another. For some period of time. In this case, we're feeling sort of 4 big beats. But you have a lot of liberty here in terms of how long this is going to take. So it takes a certain amount of practice, right? A certain amount of technique to get it to the point where it can become just a shimmer. But in fact, it's amazing how good it can sound, how good tremolos can sound, even at a fairly slow speed, as long as they're super even. So the way to practice them, right, is make sure you're doing some nice slow work where you're listening. It's really, really even. Every note is being heard, and a nice full close at that speed. And just getting a chance to feel what that feels like, trading hands back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then, of course, working on speeding that up. And as it goes faster, we may do an abbreviated motion, maybe not a full close, but that idea is still there. And just listening always for evenness so that nothing's standing out, that it's just one note after another, that they're all being heard equally. And so then we might do, like at a slower tempo, maybe we'll do 4 of those. So you can see it even at a slow tempo. As long as it's really even, it can sound good. So a great spot to practice, of course. Maybe tremolos are super easy for you. Maybe there's something you've never tried before. But a cool little spot. And again, I think if we can get a kind of shimmer, it's kind of cool. So then we get to this repeated bar where I have repeat ad lib while slowing down. So it's maybe not super clear. I actually should have, again, in this edition, I should have put the first 2 notes with stems down so that it's clear that, again, we're doing the same pattern. 2 left-hand notes, 2 right-hand notes. And in this case, we're doing, and the next one, the left hand moves down, right hand still on G and B. So you're bouncing back and forth with the left hand. The right hand continues to play the same notes, and we just do that gradually, slow down, and eventually finish it off with one last set where we're doing E, F, G, A. And there we are. So a cool spot, a good spot to work on, and then we move into the Coda. And so here, when I was writing this, I was kind of envisioning the song doesn't necessarily have a happy ending. And so while we've had maybe this more up-tempo variation 4 and in the pedal harp version, the variation 5 as well, now we're kind of moving into this kind of bittersweet ending. So we're hearing the tune without the C sharp, which is kind of interesting. And it starts really simply, right? So here's a chance to just think about phrasing and placing and where we're going to put each note, right? That space between the notes. A lever change, but a lot easier than some of the ones earlier on. And now here, we're taking that button note with the right hand so that we can change this D back. And then we're changing this B. And then here, experiment with how much of a roll, how much of a break you want on those, right? Again, it's got this very sorrowful quality, and we have with this G flat, right? We've got this B flat, we have this G minor chord rather than the G major chord we're expecting. So we want to bring that G out, the G minor, we want to bring that B flat out. And do we want to do a big break? Do we want to do it flat? Maybe a smaller break? So a great spot to play around with, and of course maybe you might not do it the same way twice, but just experiment with different options. And again, we have that chord twice in a row, so we could do it flat the second time, we could do it flat the first time. Just playing around, right? Experimenting, seeing what you like. And again, a feeling of we're not moving ahead. This is this kind of bittersweet. We've got lots of time here. Enjoying each and every note. And this is kind of the end here, right? This is the last note of the tune. Now this is a group of 4, right? We're in 6/8, but now we only have 4 quarters. And basically it's just a built-in way of slowing down, right? So if we've been feeling... Oh, sorry. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1. Like if we played it strictly in rhythm, that's what it would be. But basically, it's just a chance to feel it slowing down. And being aware that it's 1 and 2 and instead of 1, 2, 3, 1. Oops, it's over, right? The emphasis. And this, of course, is also kind of an ending note as well, right? This last time we're going to hear this E, and then just a little phrase tailing away. Again, experimenting with how long you want to wait before you do that, and how the speed of that, right? Again, we don't want to be too slow, but we don't want it to be too fast either, and just having fun with doing exactly what you want with that little ending. So there you go, Greensleeves, fantasy on Greensleeves for the lever harp. I hope you've enjoyed this, and there we go. So I'm going to do a slow motion Monday, this coming Monday, on that tremolo. I know I've done one on trills, I think, but I'm going to do one on that specific little tremolo section with maybe a different camera angle for that, just out of interest sake. So that if you're working on this piece, maybe tune in for that. And then I'll be back in 2 weeks with something new. So see you in 2 weeks' time. Cheers.